The movie begins with the funeral of Jong-sup, an old-school director. The event is being planned by a young woman named Yeon-hwa. Unexpectedly, a curious reporter named Oh shows up to pay his respects and asks what killed the principal. Jong-sup had cancer, but he died of something else, making him think this is strange. In addition, the old man left all of his money to Yeon-hwa, even though he didn't seem to know her. The reporter talks to Yeon-hwa because he thinks something is wrong, but he can't find any solid proof. Later, he sees Yeon-hwa again while she is putting flowers on the grave. He learns that she lives alone in a big house. Yeon-hwa agrees to an interview when the reporter tells her about his research. She then talks about how she met the principal. The movie then cuts to a scene from when Yeon-hwa was a babysitter. Without anyone to care for him, Jong-sup hired Yeon-hwa to help him in his last days. He had cancer and was dying. During their first meeting, Jong-sup told Yeon-hwa that he was dying and asked for her help, which she reluctantly agreed to. In the beginning, though, Jong-sup became more picky and quick to get angry if Yeon-hwa didn't live up to his standards. He even asked her for long massages. One night, Jong-sup woke up from a bad dream to find Yeon-hwa sleeping next to him instead of watching over him. When Jong-sup saw this, she got very angry and threw a glass of water at her, which woke her up. Even so, Yeon-hwa kept her cool, and Jong-sup finally fell back asleep. Yeon-hwa learned Jong-sup's likes and dislikes over time, becoming more aware of his needs. She made his favorite meals, took care of his medicines, and made sure the water in his bath was just right. As their friendship grew, Jong-sup invited Yeon-hwa to a party for his old friends and introduced her to them. He even got her to sing on stage, where she amazed everyone with a skill they didn't know she had. On his way home, Jong-sup told them that the song was his late wife's favorite. When asked how she knew, Yeon-hwa said that her ex-boyfriend had listened to it a lot. Yeon-hwa met Jong-sup's self-care needs in the yard one morning. The old man then told Yeon-hwa about his late son, who had died in an accident when he was about Yeon-hwa's age. He asked her why she was taking care of him instead of enjoying herself as a young woman. Yeon-hwa gave a vague answer, saying that she was just going along the road that life had planned for her. The next day, Jong-sup had a terrible episode because of his illness, which was very painful. He rolled off of his bed and crawled across the floor to find something to drink. Yeon-hwa rushed to help him, but Jong-sup told her to iron his suit instead, even though he had already drunk water to ease his pain. After the pain subsided, Jong-sup emerged from his room, and Yeon-hwa handed him the ironed suit. After that, he told her to go out by herself and get a picture from a studio. Yeon-hwa didn't know that Jong-sup had a scary plan to kill him while she was away. Yeon-hwa followed the instructions and departed for the picture studio, but all of a sudden she understood what Jong-sup was trying to do. She ran back home quickly, wanting to stop the terrible thing from happening. Lucky for her, she got there just in time to save her boss. With tears running down her face, Yeon-hwa got down on her knees and begged Jong-sup not to do that again. With that thought, the old man knew he had someone to live for at last. Their love grew stronger over time, and Jong-sup started to feel happy again. Jong-sup told Yeon-hwa, while assembling pictures of his late wife and son, that all the people he loved had left him, and he feared leaving again. Yeon-hwa told him softly that she had nowhere else to go, and promised to always be by his side. To change the subject, Yeon-hwa asked about the boy in the picture, who was Jong-sup's. He talked about his brilliant and dedicated son, who died in a terrible car accident. The next day, Yeon-hwa went with Jong-sup to the doctor for a checkup. There, they got some bad news. Jong-sup's outlook went from 6 months to 6 years because miraculously, his cancer cells had stopped spreading. The doctor said that this was because Jong-sup had a positive outlook on life, and people with that kind of outlook tend to live longer. When they got back from the doctor's visit, Jong-sup was beaming and held Yeon-hwa's hand to say thank you. He thought she was the reason he was happy and had a good attitude about life. Jong-sup's love for Yeon-hwa grew over the next few days, and he took her to fancy dinners at high-class places. During one of these dinners, Yeon-hwa was kind enough to tell him not to drink too much because he was sick, but the old man was so drunk that he forgot about her and became lost in the moment. While he was drunk, he tried to get close to Yeon-hwa by grabbing her and kissing her hard. She was able to push him away and stop his attempts after a short fight. Yeon-hwa chose to leave Jong-sup's house because she was upset. The story then went back to the present, where the reporter was leaving Yeon-hwa's house. The next day, he did more research and found out that Yeon-hwa had been an escort before she became a babysitter. The reporter went back to the house and questioned Yeon-hwa again because they were determined to find the truth. This time, he looked around the house and found a picture of a man who looked like someone he knew, and when he asked Yeon-hwa about the man, she laughed it off and told him to stay for dinner. After the meal, the reporter asked Yeon-hwa directly if she had anything to do with the old man's death. Yeon-hwa didn't give a clear answer. Instead, she poured the reporter some wine and told him more about her past with the old man. The movie then went back to the day Yeon-hwa turned down Jong-sup's proposals. Unfortunately, Jong-sup became depressed after Yeon-hwa turned down his advances, which made him treat her badly again. Jong-sup's health started to get worse, which made things even worse. Even though he was mean, Yeon-hwa still cared for him. This time, she did it while wearing revealing clothes, and sometimes she tried to seduce him. She rubbed him a lot, and even placed his head on her lap. In the middle of her present story, Yeon-hwa chose to tell the reporter about another important event from her past. She told him about the early meeting with her ex-boyfriend at the club where she worked. Although he was with a group of guys, he was quiet and shy, which was different from the other customers who were loud and active. Yeon-hwa liked the way he was acting and became interested in him. Later that night, Yeon-hwa got a headache out of the blue and sat outside the club by himself. By chance, the shy man who had seen her was uncomfortable, so he came up to her and offered to give her medicine to make her feel better. Yeon-hwa thought he was humble and nice, and she even said he was cute. Later, the man suggested that they go to dinner together, and their meetings led to a friendship. Now that we're present, the reporter arrived at Yeon-hwa's house late at night after drinking too much wine. He heard Yeon-hwa crying in the shower when he woke up. He approached her out of concern, and she told him some terrible things that had happened to her in the past. She insisted she was innocent and did not kill the old man. The writer felt sorry for Yeon-hwa and tried to make her feel better, but one thing led to another, and they became close. The writer was shocked to find Yeon-hwa gone when he woke up the next morning. As he looked for her around the house, he found an old newspaper story that told the truth about Yeon-hwa's boyfriend. The story revealed that her boyfriend was actually Jong-sup's son. This also showed that her boyfriend didn't die in a car accident like she said he did. Instead, he killed himself because of a stressful event. The reporter was confused by this new information, so he chose to look into it more. He did more research and discovered the shocking truth. Yeon-hwa had been making love potions and pouring them into his and the old man's drinks. The scene then went back in time to show Jong-sup carefully shaping his beard, as if he were getting ready for something important. He went into Yeon-hwa's room with a ring in his hand and put it on her finger gently while she slept. But Yeon-hwa woke up and turned down his sincere marriage proposal. Jong-sup did everything he could to win her love. He offered her his house and all of his money in the hopes she would accept. She turned down all of his advances, though, and left him alone. In the end, Yeon-hwa came back home after a few days with anger in her eyes. At this point, she told them the shocking truth. She was dating Jong-sup's dead son. Yeon-hwa explained to everyone what she really wanted to do by saying she was here to get payback for her boyfriend's death. His father's deep-seated anger turned out to be the cause of Yeon-hwa's boyfriend's sad death. When Jong-sup found out that his son was seeing an escort, he devised a cruel plan. When he hired some of Yeon-hwa's old clients, he made them have sexual encounters with her while his son watched. This left deep scars on both of them. The man was so affected that he killed himself by stepping in front of a moving car. When Jong-sup heard this terrible truth, she fell to the ground in shock, while Yeon-hwa went to her room and seemed happy with what she had done. The next day, Jong-sup asked Yeon-hwa to help him take a shower. After that, he killed himself while she was in another room, leaving her with his money and power. After this, Yeon-hwa found herself at a train stop, thinking about putting her own life to an end. That being said, when she tried to jump in front of a moving train, the ghosts of Jong-sup and her dead boyfriend saved her. They showed up and offered her comfort and direction. Jong-sup's spirit told Yeon-hwa that he had no grudges against her and told her to use the property. He left her to live the rest of her life to the fullest. At the end of the movie, her boyfriends and Jong-sup's spirits said goodbye as they got on a train. They waved at Yeon-hwa to show their support as she started a new journey, forgetting about the bad things that had happened in the past. Thanks for watching.